Hello everybody, welcome back to the Down Survival, and today we're continuing with our ecosystem. We've got our Ostroraptors tranquilized, ready for movement to where they are going to go, and we have our next set of animals to release already set up. I've also edited this terrain here to try and make it look like the Jurassic Park scene with the Spinosaurus and the oil rig or whatever it is, like I made in my contribution to the park, the collab park that we've done, and that's why I've made this redwood area with a T-Rex skeleton. It's not the greatest setup, but it's the best I could do. And we have these set up. Now these have migrated from where I originally put them. This area, though it was meant to be a lot drier, came from one of my viewers, Devon, which I will put the comment up at the appropriate time. I assume I will. We're putting our Ostroraptors in here, in this area of the wetland, and the fence, which I will fix up now while I'm here. The fence is due to the fact that this is meant to be, it was meant to be in a park, but it collapsed. All the dinosaurs got loose, and that is why we have, I'm only tracking this to move it so they are happy again. But this area is created with hybrids, yes, but the hybrids are due to because of the fact it was going to be a park at some point, and that's why we have our hybrids. We do have Acrocanthosaurus as well, male, named Chonka. Where's he gone? There he is. This is Chonka, also requested by Devon. Now, Chonka does have a mate, but I separated them on purpose so they could find each other whenever they decide to. They do have a connection of land that they can use to meet one another. We also have our ichthyosaurs ready as well, and they are reproducing. Which we have set up next to this abandoned little building. More Triceratops fights. But without further stalling, yes, before I forget as well, we also have our Dinochymus added into our swamp environment. The Albertosaurs seem to be wandering further and further away from where they were originally, however. And without further stalling, I'm going to put our new animals in and continue with another request, which is Therizinosaurus, and I'm going to get closest to how it had been described to me, as long as these are transported quickly. We know the release animations for these animals. We can release them now. Unfortunately, they did end up with the aggressive trait, so I don't really want them that close to. At least not yet. They can, of course, eventually meet up. The unfortunate part about this game, though, is the fact I can't really do multiple air releases at a time. They do have fish as well. You just have to go and eat. Fish is right here. Male trike versus female Albertosaurus here. This is one of our original ones. I will have the comments put up if I remember. Oh. Bit close to Tronka. That might be a problem for them. And Berta's fighting. Berta was a name requested from Devon again. This was also requested by, well, not the skin, but the name for Berta was requested. If you ever want me to go back and just create a natural ecosystem as well, one without hybrids and nothing, then I can do that, like with just the natural animals, I can do that. But for today's episode I'm doing hybrids, as it is going to be for our headcanon here. It was going to be a park, but it collapsed. It's unfortunate. That is something I want to mention as well. If you've got any ideas for creatures that should go on the beach or the coast along here, I would appreciate that. So we get to use this feature of the beach. The episodes, we might end up with 5 of the episodes for this. Only because as I was going to say, we might end up with 5 episodes total for this because I'm going to shorten it from 2 hours to 30 minutes per episode. Hopefully someone ends up breaking these fences so it's a bit more natural looking. In the meantime, I assume they like, yes, they do like the large nest. So I will add one here. Hopefully a more natural looking one. I might save that one for Spino. We can use this old comms style one. Enclosures, no. Environment. And boom. Now we're sorted again. And there go our baryonyx. I do have notes of other creatures I want to add, but I'm going to add Hypsilodon as well. This is what the ecosystem is about as well. And it's perfectly fine that they're fighting. It's natural behaviour. And that's the excuse of us allowing them to fight. It's an ecosystem that took over an abandoned park in our headcanon. If you want to suggest other ideas, just let me know, like names or other species that I might not include this episode. And of course, they are naturally breeding. It's a bit iffy there.
Well suited to different dietary sources, but just because an animal is adaptable doesn't make it invincible. Even this dinosaur needs a carefully planned environment, so make sure we give it an enclosure it can thrive in.
Hypsilodon can probably... Oh no, not there, that's where the Spinosaurs are going to go. They can probably be added next to these guys. I don't think these guys will hurt them. The Hypsilodon. Although they do dislike a lot of things, I don't think they'll be bothered about the Hypsilodon. Of course, they're going to eventually start overlapping a lot more, which is what's going to lead to fights, which we'll probably find our first carnivore fight here with the baryonyx. But of course they could find refuge on this island due to it being surrounded by deep water and the Acro being unable to swim. Wow, it's already been 10 minutes. We might extend that to a little bit longer then. Our time limit. I'm going to add the dinosaurs eventually as well. I just want to add hips a load on. There we go. Let's check out the skins. Okay, nice. I've already got that set up and begin. Oop. And we will make a second batch as well. This one has been separated. I assume he's walked from over here, or she. Yeah, he's probably walked along the side here and gotten lost. That'll be the Triceratops that I had to fight before, starved to death. Now that is to be expected, unfortunately, in an ecosystem. Starvation does happen. And they have already both made their way out of their original containment area. That means Ostroraptors are soon to encounter these carnivores too. And of course, because they're fighting in water, it doesn't make a ton of sense because they've got their mouths open really wide. Our first carnivore fight can happen soon between Chonka here and the Baryonyxes, or with our Ostroraptors, which have made their way out here, and our Albertosaurs, which seems like it could happen soon. I want these episodes to be short so that people actually watch them, but I want them to be decently lengthed so that we can actually get some stuff done too. This one might be stuck though. Oh, these two might be stuck. But it is happy because it technically shares an environment. Or maybe they... No, they definitely can't. These three are stuck down here unless they decide to break the fence. Or because they are connected, they won't, I don't think. There we go. Our first carnivore and carnivore fight. And that might immediately have killed the Ostroraptor. Yes, it has. Albertosaurus immediately won. And our Allosaurus herd babies are starting to mature. This is, of course, all expected in an ecosystem. I do believe, though, that you like fish. Yes, you do. Chonka is sitting alone while his possible mate has somehow had her territory shrunk drastically. Now, before we actually release the Hypsilodon, I am going to make a second herd, or second batch, even. This green, and I quite like this patterning, and let's go with the brown paired with this colouring. If you have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments and I will do that for you. Like names, species, colours, I can do all of that. Asuka Mimus. Well, it's an Abilitosaurus. Let's put Asuka Mimus up here, possibly. And I will flatten the terrain a little bit, or smoothen it rather than flatten it. This area, it doesn't look like it needs smoothing. Why are you on the left looking for food? You aren't walking the right way for food though. There we go. Well, that kind of is cheating, yes, but you can't just have it die without it really doing much in the ecosystem, rather than having a little wander. Our ecosystem is growing. We've got marines as well in here. Chonka is doing his thing too. He's utterly destroyed all the fences. Another Albertosaurus fight. Now, if you want me to as well, I can do a little scenery thing where I go around and narrate what's going on, like at the final episode, and starve to death. Just because it wandered off. That's another issue they have to fix. It's irritating. I was gonna make a joke about it, but you know, I don't think it's that appropriate. About the irritator being irritating. Which, yes, that's its namesake.
Suchomimus is one fearsome animal. Don't worry though, it mainly eats fish and other small prey. So, unless you're paddling around in its enclosure, you should be safe. But just to be clear, I wouldn't go paddling in any dinosaur's enclosure, like ever, okay?
Yes, that doesn't seem like that would be very smart. Ooh, I might have actually put this territory a lot closer to these guys than I thought. Dinochirus can make their way up there if they want. I'm going to make it possible for them to move out of here. I think the environment. Oop. I don't think smoothing will do much, will it? Yeah, I'll provide a way for them to go over here without disrupting this waterfall. We of course have our juvenile Moses, 2, and then councils are fighting. I don't think they'll fight to the death. They are uncomfortable for their own reasons, though. And she's decided to wander all the way away from him. I will put a Spinosaurus here as well. Watch for raptors are fighting. And if they so choose, they can go for him too. Another Ankylosaurus has matured. The head is expanding, which I originally thought Chonko was going to fight with personally, but clearly that has not happened. Another Ankylosaurus has matured. Epsilodon could go here. We are getting a bit of a chance of more fights though.
We've got a semi-aquatic legend on site now. The Spinosaurus is a menacing figure on land, but it really comes into its own in the water. Just imagine that iconic sail slicing through the waves as it approaches your boat. Feels like something out of a movie. Well, maybe also something out of a nightmare, huh?
Yes, well, this is out of a movie. And we are about to see it slice through the water, I think, maybe. Possibly. I'm starting to lose hope already. Let's go to scenery. You can probably search for boats. Boats. Boat. Boop. Don't know why I said beep. And confirm, and we don't want that big of a boat. This would actually could go on here. This is probably one of the ones that came to rescue them. No, or could be one of the ones that came to rescue. If I could talk, came to rescue them. You can stick that here. I don't know how that counts as a workshop thing though. But I will see what I can do to try and edit this by finding where the cage is kept. I must have missed a fight. I'm sorry. Here's 3 built cages. Oh my gosh, that is gigantic. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. I do like these though. Well, not these. I'm not sure what these are. I mean, I like the cages. Cages are cool. I like that you can get a flustered one as well. Like, let's say they were going to transport Spino. It says Lagoon. But we can put it here. It was used for T-Rex, I believe, in the last world. But we can say, hey, they were going to use it for Spino, but it got abandoned. He could also have merged them for whatever reason. Archaeosaurs are close as well. They're dangerous to get, but they're also dangerous themselves because Spinosaurus is right over here. Right, hips load on time.
This beautiful animal, the Hypsilophodon, was found in quite a fossil hotspot on the Isle of Wight.
England, woohoo!
It's often been called the deer of the Mesozoic, but this scientist thinks we should be thinking of deer as the Hypsilophodons of the modern day.
Deer, well, they're tidgy. Well, I say they're tidgy then.
That old saying about
Yeah,
how
small.
good fences make good neighbors. Never truer than here. It's the fences that keep both of us, dinosaurs and humans, alive and content. If the animals are climbing those fences, then something's
Climbing?
gone wrong.
Ah, that must have been you. Yeah, another Ostroraptor bites the dust. We might want to make Ostroraptors breed while we can. I assume you like medium then as well. Now, this isn't natural, but if we're going to have them have a chance of still being alive by the end of getting the rest of the animals in, I have to make them breed. These guys can move in over here, and honestly, they're probably going to act more of a source of food than anything else to our other animals, unfortunately. Yeah, but that is like the life of an ecosystem. You've got predator and you've got prey. We want this to be an accurate ecosystem, we have to include both predators and prey. There we go, Ostroraptors climbed the nest, and we are going to have breeding. Not most naturally, because I had to force it upon them for them to breed, but it's what it takes. Our predators are starting to merge territories, and this little Oh, it is a juvenile. Oh dear. Why do they always wander away from the parents? Well, they literally wandered all the way from over here. Also starved to death, but there's food there. Well, there's meat. Can they not eat meat? I mean, we could have a little bit of a waterfall here, I suppose. I guess console is a lot more limited in terms of how far a waterfall can go. Where is this baby going? Oh, okay, that counts as eating. Oh, Ep2. They are not happy. They are missing pasture, which I can give them. But now they're missing wetland, which is getting iffy. For, I think, pretty obvious reasons. Because now they're missing pasture again. But I can actually have wetland count in the water, I think. Or not. This doesn't seem to be adding. Well, it is adding, it does not very much. And it's not doing exactly what I wish it was for the scene anymore. But I want them to be happy. And I can't put the ground here, because of course not. I will add pasture leading up this way. It's your choice. Never mind, I'm not gonna have pasture leading up this way because it's just blocked it all off with rock. Ah, no. Pasture does lead up that way now. Yes, I'm gonna have it go up to like 40 minutes in the end, I think. A little bit longer than I wish it was, or I wanted it to be previously, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to get up my list of the other animals I'm going to introduce. Notifications on my phone, unnecessary at the moment. Notes. If you have any ideas for what carnivores and stuff we use, let me know. Or just animals in general. And we've got Australoraptors now. They've a sort of breeding population, and this parent needs to feed. And fish. Another fish. Looks like our aquacanthus is gonna, female aquacanthus might die now though, because it decided it was gonna take a walk way off here. It's not gonna be content or comfortable, And it is going to starve itself to death by wandering away from the food source I've just placed. I always decided to go for the goat, but immediately got stopped. And it failed the hunt, so I assume she is now going over this way to find the food that I placed previously a second ago here. Yes. Where's that little adventurous baby ichthyosaur? Was it this one? I feel like it's this one. As of a request from my younger brother, after I asked him what carnivores I should add, he said Giganotosaurus. So, why not? Let's make a swamp skin. Some other case you can now suggest, because we are going to have to introduce more if we want a full-on breeding population. You can let me know some skin ideas in the comments. I do want them to be fully compatible and stuff though. I'm surprised this hasn't gone up like at all, but we aren't going to edit stuff like that. I was also asked to put T-Rex in, so you better to add than the King and Queen of Sorna in terms of Rexes. Oh yes, like the different things now. Then Buck and Doe. That's not Buck, there's Buck. They're going to be compatible and fertile and sociable. The rest of the stats can stay the same. And we have our Rex, and I was asked for carnivores as well, and carnivores we shall have in form of the movie skins, because why not? I didn't edit that, but oh well. Deinonychus was also asked for carnivore. I'm going to choose this one. So, yes. And for the female, I'm going to keep it with this colour, but edit pattern to make it belong and feel a bit more swamp environment-esque. And Utah Raptor was another one that he mentioned. Utah Raptor. I will edit the colours for a swamp style animal. And our male can be, hopefully we find another colour that can belong in the swamp. Let's go with the brown, because well, browns can be found in this sort of environment too. And that. We are going to have an nice even split. Other than this, in this case we are going to have a nice even split, and in this case we can. Our gigas can go somewhere. I want to put the T-Rexes here though. So our Giganotosaurs can be placed. Can't be placed with the Spinosaurs. I'm going to put them. No, that's T-Rex. It's Australoraptor. Gonna put them here. Now it's going to be a bit unfair because there's a lot less gigas than Albertosaur, for example, and Triceratops for that matter. But ecosystems will figure themselves out. Apex predators will make it out on top, usually. Giganotosaurus is true. Apex, it shouldn't have a problem. Well, it will have a problem, of course, because it's going to have to fight these animals, but it shouldn't have too much of an issue. I'm going to extend it to 45 minutes. It'll be a bit shorter, actually, because I've got a couple of bits that I have to clip off the end as well. For all I know, like in a real environment, if this one backs down, oh no, this one's getting killed. The Giganotosaurus will probably fit in rather nicely here with our environment anyway, not just because it'll just be an apex, duh. I'm going to name them Bookender as well for the purpose of knowing them. I guess, I don't know. This of course is not Isla Sorna. It's not meant to be Isla Sorna. Is this now? This might, yeah, that's now. Well, no animals come down here anyway, so it doesn't matter too much, I guess. But if I do happen to adventure somehow along the coast here, then I can edit it to make it, because then we will actually be looking at it. There we go, we've got Apex. And I believe there goes our T-Rex, yes. So our female is also here, which is, yes, the Giganotosaurus skin, which is unfortunate because people call it Zeb, or Zeb, I believe. And yeah, it is Albertosaurus that's claimed this nest.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Albertosaurus to the park.
I feel like I'm gonna turn this camera and the Giganotosaurus is gonna be there. No. Ooh. Is that fight already gonna happen? I doubt it. Our Giganotosaurus is right in the centre of a herd though, which is going to be dangerous. Our carnivores. I'm going to put them on the beach actually, because they don't actually really have. And I'm going to sort of try and make a path for them so they know they can get up there if they wanted to. But they are going to be placed on the beach. And of course I have to let them sort of combine eventually anyway, because that's how ecosystems work. But you can see as well, they've sort of stayed in their areas because they are happy with where they are anyway. They are happy with where they live until they aren't. No sort of sense. But now this acro has everything it needs here, so it's probably not going to explore anywhere else. Until an animal, I decide an animal, I'm going to place an animal here. which I have put carnivores here. It can't swim, but it could prove issue. And once I've got these animals in, it'll be the end of the episode.
First thing they teach you in the real estate game is location, location, location. I think even the dinosaurs can understand that. So make sure your scenery delivers.
And this is done. They aren't the happiest because T-Rexes, I don't think they actually care about wetland, do they? No. It's a shame because Buckingham did live on Sorna. It'd be cool to see them walking about in this environment anyway, with them being happy. Like walking through the mist. We've got another fight. Our Giganotosaurus. Probably not going to breed because it's just not happy. I can use a couple of these in the end. It says T-Rex nest, but it's got like the plain parts and stuff, which would make more sense for Spinosaurus, but I do want them to have red though. So I am going to select them to breed specifically. And I'm going to unfortunately cover up this area to try and give them some pasture. Well, I'm still trying to keep them this area mocky as well. I'm going to actually sort of edit this as well, so it's not just flat grass, it will have depth and what is on no health. Please don't be a giga. It's a giga. The giga might die immediately in its first fight. Oh my gosh, we've already extended way further than I intended. And let's give them a nice meat feeder, because well, that's what the babies like, and let's give them a nice little goat feeder too. Right here. They might just settle down in this area, but I doubt it. And we've got even more Albertosaurs. Giganotosaurus is on its way to claim this nest if it doesn't die first. Well, the female just needs to not die. Weirdria seems to be picking a fight, so it might die. It might indeed die. I'm going to... I don't know. I don't want to put them in an area that's just immediately going to get killed. I could put these on the beach as well to begin with, I suppose. I'm going to smoothen this terrain and then, boom, the end of this episode. Oh, that's a lot closer to Chonka than I thought. There's a feeder here. Ostroraptor, there's another one gonna die here. Yeah. Ostroraptor doesn't fend too well against medium carnivores, because I'm not going to fend well against the Giganotosaurus. Or Rex, which is also somewhat near as well. there's our nice little path for them to walk up if they desire. Utah Raptor, not the best fit for this sort of environment, but it's here. They are happy, so they could probably breed as well. And I like the purple nest, maybe. I hope this is only during night time. Yeah, this should only light up during night time, which is nice. And that is the end of today's episode, I believe. And ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome the Deinonychus to the park.
Ooh, it is following. Right, okay. Let's get to an area where it would be looking good for... Oh, they're both have... They're both sitting down. Okay. Well, I don't even have to make that happen, that's just happened on its own. And there's already eggs. A good few eggs as well. And I will catch you all. Okay, so while I get this photo opportunity ready, it's not working as well as I wish it was. I will catch you all on either side. Bye-bye. Why did I say it? I will catch you all on the... I will catch you all on the other side.